What's good? What's really good? Of course, this is me, Blue. I got my brother Panda Boy behind the camera.
How's it going, everyone?
All right. Yo, as you know, our job is to show you all the fun and crazy things there is, but also we want you to be safe and we want you to be knowledgeable. So today we have an informative interview where we're going to talk to the one and only Zack Duncan. Tell me a little bit about yourself, Zack.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I'm Zack Duncan. I'm from Sarasota, Florida. I've actually been doing insurance now for 10 years. I started in insurance after college and I got a finance and accounting degree. Everybody wanted experience. Nobody took me on because I didn't have any internships. I didn't do any internships. So I was looking around and had a buddy reached out to me, said, hey, I just was doing this insurance gig, maybe we should give it a shot. I kind of stumbled into insurance, but I found myself kind of like an expert in the field because I worked for multiple companies and I've kind of seen the change and evolution of health insurance since Obamacare, ACA, and all that. So I kind of have a good background of the field and the different options and plans out there.
All right, awesome. About how long have you been doing insurance now?
Coming up on 10 years. Yeah.
Holy smokes. Yeah, I'd probably say you're an expert at this point.
A lot of people avoid health insurance, but for me, I've found it's one of those things where I can find myself helping people every day. People that are in tough situations that really need help. I can put them in the best position that they can be in. It just feels good.
What company do you work for right now?
So I'm currently with US Health Advisors. So we've been a company for 11 plus years. We recently got bought out by United Healthcare. Okay. So we're owned by United Healthcare, but my job as an advisor is just to shop the market. So I'm not always looking at one specific company. It could be a broad range of companies that we can look into depending on your situation.
All right, so insurance is a foreign language to me. You have all these different types and all these different packages. Can you tell me a little bit of some of the different types? I know there's HMO and there's PPO, and I have no idea about any of them.
Right. So the way I like kind of break it down is that you have people that have group insurance, right? So you work for a company. The company puts together a package of plans that can help lower the rates for everybody. The employer chips in the costs, and that kind of helps out in the rates. As a self-employed individual, you kind of have two different markets. You're obviously not offered a group plan, so you can either look into the healthcare marketplace, which is the ACA, Obamacare, or private insurance. Depending on your situation, ACA plans might be better if you're somebody that maybe has a lot of health issues. The good part about the ACA is that they don't ask any health questions. So if you're somebody that does have health issues, they have to take you on. And depending on your income, you might be able to get a government subsidy, which could potentially lower the cost. So, they run the commercials, they say 95% of people qualify for free insurance. So there's a lot of people that can get Obamacare, ACA coverage, and not have to pay anything. So it's a great market for those individuals to have coverage and, it'd be affordable.
Okay, good. That's like where the pre-existing conditions come in, like the people with like diabetes or hypertension or all that like long-term stuff prior, they won't get denied because of it.
Exactly.
Awesome. So then you have the private sector.
Yeah, the private sector, which the main difference is that they maybe have some health questionnaire type stuff. So maybe you have to go through an underwriting pre-screen process. But the advantage of that is that if you're a high income earner that's healthy, then to be on the ACA marketplace, you're paying a lot of money for insurance coverage you might not need or use. Going through the pre-screening underwriting process and qualifying for private insurance can actually get you better networks of doctors. That's one of the downsides with the marketplace is that you're pretty much limited to your state. So if you live in Florida, they might give you an option for Florida Blue, but if you travel and maybe you're in California for the weekend, they don't have providers there, so you're out of network. The downside with the HMO is that they don't cover out of network, so you could potentially be left, paying out of pocket.
Okay.
So the PPO would give somebody access to nationwide coverage, especially people that travel in between states. You want to have that PPO coverage because you never know, potentially you'll be somewhere else and maybe something happens, you want to have coverage.
So for a travel nurse, you'd probably recommend the PPO then, because I could be in New York for a month, or I could be in California for 2 months, or I could be anywhere.
Right. Travel nurses, truckers, realtors, people that tend to move around a lot. You want to have that PPO access so you're not limited in the providers you can see.
Okay. Now, as far as cost goes, is there much of a breakdown in cost between any of those?
So on the private side, you're getting a private discounted rate based on your health. For somebody that makes a high income, and isn't qualifying for government marketplace subsidies, then they can find a lower rate on the private market. If you are an individual that has a high income and maybe you have health issues, then you're kind of in that situation where you just unfortunately have to pay more money for your coverage.
Yeah, okay. All right, so if you have pre-existing conditions, you make a lot of money, you're pretty much screwed either way. That's what it sounds
Unfortunately.
like. Goodness.
The kind of market that we're in right now.
Yeah. All right, but I mean, you can't live with it, can't live without it, basically, huh?
Right, exactly. And then
Okay.
you mentioned the networks, so to kind of break down the PPO, it just means that you have unlimited access to go in between states, not have any limitations as far as specialty visits.
Mhm.
Whereas in an HMO, they kind of limit to your state. You have to go to the in-network providers, but you also need a referral to go to a specialist. Sometimes you're jumping through hoops, having to go through a primary care doctor if you want to go to a specialist as well.
Okay, so you're saying with the HMO, you have to go to a primary and then they have to refer you.
Right.
For a PPO, you don't have to do that.
You can go directly to a specialist. That's one of the other advantages.
Okay, all right, man. I don't know, man. PPO is sounding the way to go for me, man. For sure.
Right.
Okay, all right. So you've been doing this 10 years. What is the craziest scenario that you've come across? So people can reach you as an agent. People can reach you at any time. I know personally, this is my agent, and he tells me, yo, if you have an emergency at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. or whatever, like you can reach out to me. Is there any like crazy story or crazy scenario that's happened to you?
I've had a few crazy stories, a couple of scenarios of people with accidents. I think one guy, like a snowmobiling accident, he called me wondering what to do because he kind of forgot how his insurance works. Everybody kind of signs up for something, but maybe loses touch.
Yeah.
That's why it's good to have a personal agent where you can call and text if you have questions. And he called me and let me know what the situation. I let him know, hey, this is what you have in your plan. This is how it's going to be covered. And because I built it the way I've built it for you, you're going to have very low out-of-pocket expense.
Awesome.
So that was a crazy situation, but unfortunately, you always get the calls that a family member died, which is always a tough call to take. Or maybe somebody did develop like a major illness. Sometimes it's just kind of assessing the situation and helping and guiding when people are going through these tough times.
Yeah.
But other than that, nothing too crazy.
I think it's really cool. Like it's almost like having a recruiter. Like when you're traveling, like I look at my mail and I get a letter and it's like Zack Duncan. And it's like happy birthday, like happy holidays. And I'm like, all right, cool, man. Zack's thinking about me.
Yeah, I like to stay relevant,
That's
because
pretty cool.
the more relevant that you let somebody know you're there for them, business tends to stay because people tend to follow people that they know they can trust.
Yeah.
So if you're there for them, you just kind of stay in the limelight. They always know that they can reach out to you if they need you.
Awesome. All right. So for all these people out here that might want to reach out to you, how can they find you?
I'm on social media, so Facebook's probably the easiest way to get in touch with me. And you can probably just search me by my name, Zack Duncan. A little bit of Snapchat, but other than that, you can find me by just emailing me or calling me.
What's your email address?
Zachary, so I'm going to spell it out, ZACHARY .Duncan, DUNCAN, at USHadvisors.com.
All right. You heard it. So if you're confused and you don't know anything about insurance, I hope this helped you out. Check out Zack Duncan. He's available at all times. Again, what's good? What's really good?
Thanks, Ron.